at strangers won't turn them into you. Seems like I find your face in...
Welcome back. We're back at the apartment again. Not on the road today. I managed to find a new Pictou County artist. I thought I knew all of them. So I'm going to assume some of it has to do with your age. You're probably a little bit younger than some of the other Pictou County artists that I've had on.
Fair.
Definitely not the youngest than the people that I've had on the show. But today, welcome Katelyn Danielle. So welcome, Katelyn.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And now another part, besides the age thing, you've really been at this as a musician for just a little over a year?
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the reason that you got on my radar is because you did do a performance here when I happened to be in town and looking for some music to see, and you recorded a new single that's available now with Cory Mercer, who is a previous guest of the show and also a Pictou County artist.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, you got it all right.
So since I've got you here this afternoon, we will get a little bit more into your work with Cory and that single.
Sweet.
But first, let's take a little deeper dive into who you are and a little history of where you came from.
Awesome. Great. Well, I'm super excited to be here. Super excited that, you know, to be another Pictou County artist. Like you said, I am pretty new to the game, but I've felt very welcomed by the music community here. So this is super exciting. This is kind of full circle to be here because yesterday, March 2nd, was 1 year since I played in front of people for the first time. Yes. So it's a little anniversary, a little celebration. But yeah, no, so I am a little new to the game, but it's been really, really fun. I really just got my start with all this, just doing open mic nights. So at the spot Thursday night, I am there. So, and like you said, I've done a lot of work with Cory Mercer. So, you know, I reached out to him like around this time last year, actually looking for guitar lessons. I had been trying to teach myself for a while and did not get overly far with it. So I was like, I'm going to find someone that kind of like, you know, knows what they're doing and see what I can pick up. So I reached out to him and he was like, you know, I will do lessons with you. He's like, but I'm not doing them yet. But he's like, in the meantime, I host an open mic. You should come check it out and maybe you could play something. And I was like, nope, I will not be doing that. But, you know, he's like, maybe just come check it out and see, because it's good to be around people and see what other people are doing. So maybe you'd learn a few things. And I was like, sure, I'll do that. So I went and checked it out and I met Cory. And I just really liked the vibe and I really liked all the people. And I decided, I was like, I'm going to learn a song and come back and play something. So I went back the next week with my 2 songs and I was so nervous and played. And I've been going pretty much every week ever since. Wow. So yeah, so I'm a big open mic girly and I have met so many really cool people doing that. And I think honestly, my just consistency with that has really given me like other opportunities. And I have since done some guitar lessons with Cory, and through that, just sharing like original music and stuff. He does have a studio in his house, as you know, and he kind of said like, we should try recording some of these. And I was like, sure. And so it's all been very new for me, but very, very exciting. And I'm really grateful for all the opportunities I've gotten and all the, like I said, just really cool people I've met so far.
So you're from Pictou County, but where specifically in this area? Because a lot of people that watch the show would be familiar with the fact that I'm from here, but I'm in Glasgow. And this community for people that are not from here is kind of funny because we're not amalgamated, which is a whole political thing.
Oh, yes.
But we kind of unofficially are in a lot of other ways. At least as a community level, as far as performances and who we consider from here and being local. Mm-hmm. But are you from one of the 5 main towns, or are you from maybe on the outskirts?
I am from, I guess, like rural, like municipality of Pictou County, technically. Like, so I grew up in like the Thorburn area, so just outside New Glasgow. But I could say McClellan's Brook, that's like where I grew up, but if I tell people that, they say so Thorburn, and I go, yeah.
You could just, for people from the area, or at least driving distance from this area, you could probably say just near Crossroads Country Market. 'Cause
Absolutely.
people know
Big fan of their work. Yeah.
the pies, especially out
Yes.
there.
Cinnamon rolls. I actually worked there for a summer.
Now, that might be why you seemed familiar to me, because I lived out there for a while.
Is that right?
So, yeah, so
Oh my gosh.
when the interview's over, we'll have a little conversation, because I definitely know some of your family, as we both discovered already.
Yes.
So
Because Pictou County.
yes, exactly. And I'm not going to bother diving too far into that. The last couple episodes, I went into surnames. And
Who's your mother? Who's your father?
well, I actually didn't do a great job the last two times, because one was a performance name, so their surname wasn't known to me, and
Right.
the other one I was pronouncing it wrong, and so
Perfect.
the information I had to relate was completely inaccurate.
Right. Kind of got lost. But that's all right.
But we are here in Pictou County, and I do know the area that you're talking about. So growing up in that region, I know myself that a lot of the music that you would have been around, just because of that community, being a little bit more rural, not too far from the main drag of town, but we're still a small town.
Totally.
So you got a lot of old school country vibes, and a lot of people on like weekend house parties whipping out acoustic guitars.
A little bit. Yeah.
So I could see that influence has definitely bled into your blood a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe in ways I haven't even noticed, honestly.
Now, your more modern references, I know that you have stated some influences in your bio. So Taylor Swift, which is apparent in your single, you can pick up some of that vibe.
Yes. I've got
Phoebe Bridgers.
Yes. Love Phoebe Bridgers. Yes.
So I definitely know those vibes, and I can see how you were able to kind of blend that with what was coming out of the community you're growing up in. But what were your early inspirations as far as the fact that you're playing a physical guitar? Like, you're doing that now and learning it, but was there people around you growing up that were playing instruments, or were you singing at a young age?
It's funny. I did not really grow up in a very musical family.
Okay.
I grew up in a very athletic family. Actually, we were all really into sports and stuff like that. So I was very much into that growing up. But at the same time, I did have an interest in performing and things like that. And I was always just kind of the artsy one, wanting to kind of do a little bit of both. So I actually did get into a lot of theater growing up.
Okay.
I didn't do musicals because I was actually really scared to sing in front of people.
Oh, yeah.
So I would do community theater, which was just plays and dialogue based productions. So I did that throughout middle school and high school. So even though I wasn't singing or doing music, I definitely think it helps me a lot now with performing. It kind of gives the same sort of that nervous energy you get beforehand, and just kind of looking at an audience and how to kind of feel comfortable up there, but also sort of use that nervous energy to your benefit. So it's actually been really, really helpful for me with gigs and doing open mic and stuff, because I stopped doing that while I was in university and was just focused on school, and kind of thought I'd never really get into anything like that again as an adult. But I've always just been a really big music head in the sense of I'm obsessed with song lyrics, and I could find a song I really like and just listen to it over and over and over again until I have the whole thing memorized. And I know a lot of people feel that way, but I definitely, growing up, Taylor Swift was a huge inspiration for me, just watching her play and watching her, how everything could be stripped down to her and a guitar, but then also she can totally go crazy with production as well. So I like that balance, I guess. But yeah, it's funny thinking how the sort of going from that shift from doing theater and then going into the music stuff, it's been really, really interesting for sure.
Is there dance included in your theater experience?
No, I did do very brief, I'm talking ages 4 to 6. We're going back now.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of tap dancing, clog dancing, but tap shoes. They called it clogging, but we used tap shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did that at a very young age, but it unfortunately has not stuck. So
double and a half threat instead of triple threat? You should consider that, just to give a triple threat right on the resume.
Yeah, then I can get it on there. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, unfortunately, it has not stuck. Maybe I'll get back into it for the next era.
Yeah, definitely something to consider.
Yeah, exactly.
I had referenced, had seen you performing it was Backstage Brewing here in Stullerton, which shout out to AJ and Beth if they happen to be watching those. I don't get down there near enough, but it is a small kind of intimate venue.
Totally.
It's great if you love drinking beer. It can get a little crowded in there, but for a performer like yourself, it's also good because you get your friends and your family right there. You can see them.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't take too much to fill it up with the rest of public, but there's enough room that you can fit quite a few people in there. Now, in that environment, I was kind of dropping in because it was an afternoon matinee thing, but they do have quite a bit different showcase type events there for mostly singer-songwriter soloists. I've seen a couple duets in there, and
Totally.
anyone that watches them on social media has probably seen some of the ladies around here getting all together and singing together in unison.
Totally.
That's definitely something that's not uncommon in the Maritimes, but it's definitely a vibe they have down there. It's run by musicians, and musicians hang out there. So
They got some cool guitars on the walls too.
yes, AJ, that was a paint place at one point. So AJ paints guitars too. So
Is that right?
so the funky paint jobs on the wall, those are his.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love the penny tables as well.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh yeah.
vibes.
The decor is awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So that is a place that where you were performing there once. That's one thing, but that is a venue that you also hang around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that day I happened to be sitting with Cory Mercer, which I know that you wrote your single with him, but that was a coincidence.
Okay.
I was just looking for a seat, and he came in with Katie, and they were looking for a seat at the same time, so we all sat together.
There you go.
But while we were sitting together, there was a little bit of a chat on Sundays at Backstage. There's a group that gets together for songwriting.
Yeah, so it's the second Sunday of every month.
Okay.
It took me a minute, but second Sunday of every month. So the next one will be on March 10th, I believe. To the day this is being recorded.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they do. They started doing a songwriter circle. I believe they've done it for the last 3 or 4 months. I can't remember now, but it's a fairly new thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hosted by Big Jim Lewis. Do you know him?
I don't think I do, actually.
Okay, he's great. He's a songwriter around here. He's very well traveled. He's lived in Japan and all across Canada and things like that. But he's, I believe, originally from at least Nova Scotia. I'm not 100% sure if he's from Pictou County.
Do you know a good way to find out?
What's that?
Get him to come on the show.
Oh, perfect.
We'll just fire all the questions at him at once. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a great songwriter. He plays at open mic sometimes too at the Spot. That's how I originally seen him. Yeah. But he started this songwriting circle. So like I said, once a month, a group of us come together, and of course we're always looking for new people, so stop by if you want to try a song out. And we're very chill, we're very informal, so of course we can bring new stuff, we can bring old stuff, or just anything that has been written by someone. So whatever you want to play. That's what Jim always says. He's like, it doesn't just needs to be a song that was written by a person. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, but it's a really fun way to just try stuff out, and I've really enjoyed it. And then we also do a little theme every month, and you don't have to do it, but if you want to try to write something based on the theme. So I think the theme we're doing for March is he'll give us a couple to choose from. So you did Irish or green or luck or something like that, so you could pick from those and do it with it what you will. So yeah, it's a really fun vibe. It's a good mix of folks, and everyone just kind of comes together to play some songs, and people will come just watch too, which I think is really, really cool. Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna have to consider popping in someday.
You totally should.
In the background,
Yeah.
Even if I just take a couple pictures or something, throw it up on social media to show people that it's a cool little event going on down there.
It's great. It's awesome, and there's different levels of experience. There's people like me that are pretty new to the whole thing, and there's people that have been doing it all their lives and have so many songs and that they're ready to share, and it's really cool to get those different perspectives. And one of the coolest things for me is when we have one theme and then we all get together and just how different we all perceive that theme and how it comes out as a song. I just think that's so interesting. So yeah, it's something I really look forward to every month, and I had never really gone to Backstage before that. So I'm really glad that it's gotten me in there. And I think ultimately kind of led to me getting that gig at Backstage that you saw me at. So it's cool how that stuff sort of snowballs.
That is one thing. People that are paying a lot of attention to what I'm doing can figure out what I'm talking about. But for open mics, they are a good screening process for a number of things. people are paying attention if they're looking to book gigs and you're doing open mics. They will check you out to see if they want to have you perform on your own. And they're also good for other people, like maybe people like myself that are looking for more content and new people to focus on in the future.
Totally. Yeah.
So the rising stars don't all come up through the open mics, but there are a few. So I've been going to a few myself up in the city.
Right. Nice.
Now I know we've mentioned Cory's, and Cory was on an episode at Christmas.
Yes.
So
yes.
we had plugged the fact that he does one down here at the spa.
Yes, on Thursdays.
And now there's one at Blue Lobster as well.
That's right. That one's also hosted by Cory. And yeah, they had started it in the summer. Yes, it was in the summer, and it's really, really cool because in the summer when they have like the patio open stuff, it's like the big stage outside. Because I remember the first time I showed up, I'd been going to like open mic at the spot for like a while now, and I was getting comfortable with it and stuff because it takes a while. Like I'm so nervous playing open mic the first like while. It took me quite a while to be like, oh, this is fine. But I remember Cory was like, oh, I'm gonna host one at Blue Lobster now. Like you should stop by. So I was like, sure, totally, Cory. Yeah, like I'll be there. And I pulled up and I saw that like Cory was on this big stage outside, and I was like, I can't do this. And he told me after he was up on stage playing, he's like, I literally saw you in your car and like your eyes go like this. But I went in anyway and I played, and it's really, really fun.
Did they actually do open mic from the outdoor stage? Oh, I didn't know that.
They did.
Wow.
They did. Yeah. Now in the winter when it's raining, they do it inside in front of the fireplace, or they normally have people, which is what I visualized when because I'm a big, like, if I'm nervous for playing somewhere, I just really try to visualize, okay, this is where I'll be standing. This is my view. This I'll be looking at. So I was thinking of that. I go out there and he's up on this big stage. I'm like,
wow.
So, but it's kind of nice because once you do get up on the stage, you just look at the Tim Hortons sign across the street, and it just brings you peace. So it's fine.
I've had mixed feelings about that venue. I do appreciate their products. I don't drink a lot, but I mean, they do have good products there. If I do drink, I don't mind having something from Nova Scotia Spirit Company at all. Totally. And supporting locals, big, for sure. I do know that for configurations for performances in there, it seems like it's different like every couple months, but I have been going more recently, and I've been enjoying it a little bit more every time I go. So I'm looking forward to outdoor being open, but the open mic outdoors would be...
It's bold.
For the anxiety part of getting up there, especially for a novice, that is a lot. But I mean, kudos to anyone that actually get up there.
Honestly, and everyone still gets up there and does it. So that's kind of my thing. Like I get inspired by other people going up and doing it. Like when I get nervous, I'm like, oh, these folks are doing it too and stuff. And everyone's really... The best thing about those environments, like I can say this to like the Spot and Blue Lobster, is like it's such a supportive environment. Like it's so nice. Like it really helps when you know that you're gonna go up there and you're gonna feel supported, and like it's usually like a very like attentive, respectful audience, and like it's really, really nice in that sense. I've definitely felt that like at the Spot and also Blue Lobster, like knowing like all the employees that work there are so nice and so supportive, and they know me there like regularly and stuff, and it's just really cool. And I love like with the open mics too, it's like you kind of get this mix of like you have your regulars like me and like obviously Cory like hosting it and like a couple other regulars, and then sometimes you'll have people who are just like traveling and passing through, and they're just like, oh, I just thought I'd check it out, and they're like amazing, and I just think that's so cool too. So you just never know what's gonna happen, so that's why I can't miss one. I get there like to be something really crazy. They're
definitely as much as I would encourage people to get out there and check out a local open mic wherever you happen to be listening to this, I do find that they can be addictive. If you've gotten to a couple and it becomes a little bit of routine, then you're like, well, I don't like this guy that comes once a month is there tonight, or this girl like it just happens to be traveling through town today, and I really want to hear what she sounds like. So it's not a bad addiction, but there can be one.
Totally.
And so are you trying to frequent both of those? Like kudos to Cory as well for being able to run too.
I the spots in the last year, I think maybe I've missed like 3.
Wow.
It's just from being sick, or if I was like traveling or something. And then Blue Lobster, they were a little on and off with theirs. They did it for the summer, and then around Christmas time they stopped for a bit because I think they closed for a bit they changed the menu up a little bit. Or doing some different things, so they stopped it for a little bit then. but then they brought it back, and so I've been going back since it's started up again. But I did get a little break from the Blue Lobster one, but now I'm getting back into it, and I do usually end up going to both.
Yeah, I think with the weather starting to get a little warmer now, and wanting to, like, I don't want to be, this is a decent apartment, I just don't want to be indoors all the time, right?
Totally fair.
So both of those venues have excellent outdoor options.
They do.
Because Backstage also has the patio outside, right?
Yes.
So you can sit outside and enjoy a drink. And
I forgot about that.
even if you're performing inside, you can hear it outside.
That's awesome. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, because I've only been to Backstage like in the winter. So.
Oh, there you go. And actually, maybe if we have you on in a future episode, we'll talk about more Pictou County venues, because I have been trying to plug the venues as much as possible.
Yeah,
but
I haven't even talked about like Shoebox. That was my first like kind of gig outside of open. It was. Yeah. I played at I did a Music Monday.
Yeah.
And Cory joined me. Cory pulled out this like super cool hollow body electric like Gretsch guitar. Awesome. And then I had like my little Taylor acoustic, and then we played 11 of my original songs. I really wanted it to be a whole original set, which was like so scary. But I was like, I really want to do this, and Cory was very much like, you have enough to do a whole original set. Like, that's badass. Like, just do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So we practiced it, and he did all these like cool little guitar riffs and stuff. And it was an absolute blast. And just like the sound quality playing in there is just beautiful. It's just wild. Like, I was so pleased with it, because I got so nervous leading up. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what if it's just anywhere you're not used to playing. You just don't know how it's going to pan out, and it's not your own gear and stuff. Not that I'm that good with that stuff anyway yet, but just didn't know. And Cory was like, trust me, like it's going to be the best sound quality you've ever played in. And he was right.
Yeah, and that's universally the comments that you get from the musicians that have been down to Shoebox. In that place, as much as I say, like, there's musicians that have been involved with putting together both of the venues we were talking about earlier,
Totally.
but Shoebox was built around a studio, really.
Literally.
So I mean, and those are like hardcore musicians up there that are really like helping develop some people, and they're recording people upstairs, and they're very supportive of the people downstairs when you're performing. So everybody loves getting down there. Yeah, that's another one too. A quick little plug. I know they just had a music mixer for industry people and for musicians to come down and meet. We didn't have the greatest weather that night, I believe. Yes. But they have a new one coming up at the end of March.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We'll do it.
Something else. Yeah, anyone that's watching
over to that, so that's me. I'll have to check one out for sure.
Oh, yeah, have to for that one for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop. Now, you mentioned that you had 11 original songs in one of your stories here, but you only have one single that I'm aware of. So one question that I have is there more than 11 songs as of today? And then the second one is, what's your plan with these songs?
Awesome. Well, there's definitely more than 11 songs now. Those 11 songs for that Shoebox gig were kind of picked out of everything I'd been writing up until then. So like basically kind of roughly in the last year. The Shoebox gig was in like late November. But I picked my favorites, and honestly, I kind of had like less favorites at first, and then I was going to mix them with some like covers, but then when we decided we were going to do all originals, I kind of dove back in and polished a few of them and said like, let's just go for it. And I'm really glad I did it that way, because it kind of helped me like take some of those songs I wasn't 100% sure about and just like really polish them and make them 100% so that they are ready to like play for people and stuff. But I'm always writing. I'm always finding stuff to write about, and especially with the like the Backstage like songwriting circle, I find that almost motivates me to like, you know, you're guaranteed to write a song once a month, if you do it based on the theme. And I find sometimes other things will come up, but I mean I've always enjoyed, like, even before I did like the songwriting, I've always liked like writing and just free writing. That's just always something I did, and that's like what I was good at in school and stuff, was like writing, and it's like my background. So I'm always coming up with new stuff. But for preparing those songs for Shoebox, that was actually extremely helpful in figuring out what I did want to record and what I did want to sort of really put out there in that way. So once Cory and I did that gig, we kind of both knew right away, like, these 6 songs out of that 11 are like really, really solid, and we felt really good about them. And we felt that those 6 songs in this specific order like told a story kind of. So we decided that that's what we were going to do. So I am working on my first EP with Cory. It's very exciting. And it's going to have Down, the single, as one of the songs on it. And there'll be 5 more. One of the songs I'll say is like kind of a little bit shorter. It's just like an intro song that kind of like sets the scene for the whole thing. But then there'll be that and then the 5 other songs, including Down. So I'm really excited. I don't want to like promise when it will be out and ready, but I will say it's more than halfway done. And Cory and I are working really hard on it, and we're really, really excited for it to come out. So hopefully it'll be out soon.
That's very exciting. Now, off camera, we had some conversations, so I know a little bit about what you have coming up over the summer. I definitely want to have you come back at some point and tell me a little bit more about the EP.
Totally.
But what can you tell me about any potential live performances where people might be able to catch you in the next few months?
Absolutely. I do have one at the end of March I will be doing with Cory. So this is a bit of a quick one. So if you missed it, I'm sorry, but Cory and I are going to be doing a gig at Blue Lobster on March 30th. So Easter weekend, if you're free, you want to pop over, we will be there. So that's like a little kind of shared gig that we're doing. So I'm super excited about that. And then the other kind of big one right now is I'll be opening for Lioness Fest at Music Mountain. So that's a new music festival, and it's all like women-fronted bands, sound engineers, bookings, everything. It's all done by an awesome team of women. So I'm really excited to be a part of that as well. And I'm really excited to play at Music Mountain, because that's close to where I grew up and driven by there many times, but I haven't really fully been in there yet. So I'm curious to see what it's like, but I hear it's pretty cool. So I'm really excited to be playing there as well and doing a little summer festival gig. It should be fun.
It's a cool venue because they seem to be adaptable to different types of events that are being held out there. So I am very curious about this Linus because it's new.
Yeah.
And I have mentioned several times on this podcast that I tend to it's not all female vocalists over there in that little pile of CDs you see there, but there's definitely a healthy component of female performers in there. So
love it.
A full female lineup is definitely something of interest.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have to see who's new artists for me to check out there, because I, like yourself, you're a new artist that I now know, but I'm sure there will be quite a few more on that bill.
For sure. Yeah. Some of the bands, like they're from all over, like Atlantic Canada. I think there's just a couple of, like, at least one from like New Brunswick and things like that. So I'm really excited to hear them myself, and I'm excited that I get to do the opening, and then I'll just be enjoying myself the rest of the night and just taking it all in. So I'm really excited to see who they have coming up to play. Yeah.
Awesome. And if people want to follow you to make sure that they're up to date with your latest releases, or if there's any more live performances coming up, where would you send people as the best place to keep track of Katelyn Danielle's activities?
The best place to keep track of Katelyn Danielle's activities would be my Instagram. It is Katelyn Dani, Dani. I do have a TikTok, if you're into that. It's called Katelyn Taylor's version. Okay. So I have some different things on there, some covers. Mostly I've just been doing covers on it lately, but if you're interested in Taylor Swift lyrics, I do some deep dives on my TikTok about that. So if you're into that.
I think I'm not going to credit it to this particular episode, but I do know that I have a growing list of TikTok followers, despite the fact that I haven't posted anything there in like 6 months.
Yeah.
So I will be getting back in there myself. I have some tentative plans.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that it's something I can maintain for the rest of the year.
Exactly. I've slowed down a lot with it too, but now I made that Instagram account kind of with the fear of like someday TikTok is going to shut down. So I put some of my favorites over on there, and then it sort of just turned into a music account. So now pretty much anything that's on my Instagram is on my TikTok. So
I definitely recommend. There's a few people out there that I know are trying to build up some Atlantic Canada presence on TikTok.
Totally.
So I think once you get a few followers that came from this episode, you're going to see that there's a bunch of them that are all feeding off each other. You'll see a little spike, because mine has been going crazy the last few months. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I do very occasionally, I do like to go live on TikTok and try it out. It's just something that some other like musician friends of mine have said, like, oh, you should try this. So every once in a while I'm on there, but it's not like really a scheduled thing. So if you happen to catch it, I might be there. But
perfect. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm definitely going to have to go out there and click follow for the East Coast DNA podcast as well. So, and anyone that hasn't already subscribed to my content, I definitely recommend that you subscribe to all of my content and follow me on social media. But the East Coast DNA YouTube channel, we're really close to hitting some of our goals that we had for a few different things that we want to do this year. So if anyone out there hasn't subscribed already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at the very least. And anyone that wants to follow Katelyn, go out there, follow her, and stay tuned to this podcast. We're definitely going to have you back.
Totally.
For those of you that have stuck around this far, I know that you would see that there's some instrument cases here in the background, and we keep talking about new music that you haven't heard yet. So I think we're going to take a quick little break. And Katelyn, can you treat us to a performance of your new single?
Absolutely.
Great.
Sounds
Thank you
good.
very much.
This is my new single, Down, featuring Cory Mercer, but today it's just me. And you can stream it on any music platform. So thank you. Thanks for having me today. So here it is.
Staring at strangers, won't turn them into you. Seems like I find your face in everything I do. Guess I thought you might wonder what happened to me. Guess I thought someday you'd finally wake up and see you couldn't let go. And silence is a virtue. And if you're going down, God knows I'm coming with you. Said it wasn't me, that it was you. That it isn't my fault, but I already knew. I think about how proud your parents must be, and how hard for you to know they are thinking of me. I don't need your closure, but seriously, thought you might admit to stealing all of my best years. You couldn't let go. And silence is a virtue. If you're going down, God knows I'm coming with you. Said it wasn't me, that it was you. That it isn't my fault, but I already knew. What did you do with the ring? Did you move on from me? Have you realized what you've done? Was I ever the one? Where have you been lately? Do your friends all hate me? If you just leave this town, why did you tear me down? You couldn't let go. And silence is a virtue. And if you're going down, God knows I'm coming with you. Said it wasn't me, that it was you. That it isn't my fault, but I already